Hey friends, welcome back. It's Razboinicul, DomiNations Gamer, and if you're new to Dominations or you started the game very recently and you want to progress faster, this is the right video for you, because today I'm going to give you the most important tips and the biggest mistakes to avoid, and how to grow your base a lot faster. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to pick the right nation. I pick Koreans because of my strategy in the World War, but in my opinion the most versatile nations in the game are Germans, British, Koreans, and then Chinese as a fourth nation. The Germans are really good for their amazing bonus that you get from the Teutonic Fury. Then you have the British, and which are really good if you're using the longbows, aka the range infantry units. And the Koreans are really good because you can hire an extra dynamite, for example, or an extra war tactic. And also the Chinese are really good because of the additional citizens. And if you're on a top 5, let's say, you can go and also pick the Romans because of the extra army size capacity. Number 2 thing to do, guys, here, which is very important, is to focus on the offense only. This is one of the biggest mistakes that the beginner players make, is basically focusing on the defensive side of the game and upgrading defensive buildings. Do not do that because it's very bad. It slows down your progress and they don't help you in the beginning of the game. Instead, prioritize the barracks, the armory, war academy, alliance gate, and offensive troop upgrades. So let me just give you a few buildings here to upgrade, that you should upgrade every single time you go up in age. So barracks are number 1 thing to upgrade, and that's because they give you extra troop capacity, and after a certain level of upgrade they will essentially give you extra hit points and damage for your troops. Then you have the armory upgrades will allow you to essentially keep upgrading your war academy and tactics and your units troops from your barracks. Also, war academy is very important to upgrade because it allows you to gain extra war tactics and also extra war tactics capacity, essentially. Work on your library as well, because you'll increase your power output, your offensive side of the game, and more specifically improve the red chapters in every single one of these rooms. The red chapters are the offensive side of the game, blue chapters are for the defense, yellow chapters are mostly for the economy. Then you have buildings like the museum at some point. The museum will allow you to craft artifacts that will help your defense, offense, and economy, but mainly focus on the offensive first. Then upgrade your consul and get yourself some nice offensive counselors. Upgrade your alliance gate, which we're gonna talk about in a second. Upgrade your embassy if you take part in the World War. Upgrade your shipyard as well, because you gain some really nice benefits here, rewards from it, especially those supplies, benefactors, and researchers, which can be used at the museum to then unlock better artifacts. Upgrade your factories and your airstrips whenever you can, once you hit the right ages. The factories and the airstrip will allow you to unlock different troops, especially the airplanes at the airstrip, and the more you upgrade your airstrips, the more levels you get at the armory when it comes to the aircraft tab, and also you get extra troop capacity for your airstrip. And the reason why you should focus on the offense in the beginning only is because the offense earns you resources, the offense wins you battles, and it helps your progress. The defense actually slows down your progress by a lot. Also, make sure you work on your fort, on your castle. The castle is not that important in the beginning of the game up to, say, industrial age, but make sure you still upgrade it and upgrade your generals at the armory. Also, at some point whenever you get to industrial age, you'll have the manufactory, which you should upgrade, and like I said, start upgrading your troops. Pick 2 troop combinations and then upgrade them fully, and also upgrade them at the armory and upgrade them at the manufactory. Here, find good artifacts at the museum for these troop combinations and the council as well. My top 2 combinations for strikes and multiplayer are paratroopers transports, recon, and dynamites only, no ground troops. For the World War, I have transports, paratroopers, recon, some dynamite, some protect, some decoy, and mortars and artillery. And the second troop combination would be with fighters and the rifleman long range infantry units and the artillery. But if you pick the long range infantry units, I would recommend you guys to go for the British because of the extra range. The third most important thing you need to do in the game, in the beginning of the game, is to join an alliance ASAP. Join an alliance and work on your alliance gate. So in order to join an alliance, you need to upgrade your first level of the alliance gate, which happens in Iron Age. And the reason why you should join an alliance ASAP is because, first of all, you meet new people, you make new friends, potentially. You also gain a lot of knowledge from advice from experienced players from that alliance. You also have access to the World War, which will provide you with a lot of resources and a lot of benefits and rewards. It makes your game a lot faster because you get speed ups as well, so you can speed up your progress for free. The fourth most important thing in a game to do is to not rush through the ages. Very, very important. Pay attention, guys. So in order to go up in age, you need to click on the town center, and then that will show you essentially a certain amount of XPs that you need in order to go up in age. If you have them, then you can go up in age. If not, it will tell you reach, I don't know, 6,000 XPs. You can check how many XPs you have on the top right corner here. The reason why you should not go up in age very fast and rush through the ages is because moving too fast to a new age, yes, it unlocks you, new troops, new buildings, you want to progress in the game very fast, but if you end up going up in age with a weak army, you will essentially struggle against multiplayers and struggle looting resources. So I done this myself in the beginning, and I got stuck and I stopped playing the game for 6 months, 7 months. I still had it on my phone. This is why I got lucky, because I come back to it. But it is so bad it actually makes you stop playing, because you keep attacking and then essentially end up against stronger players because you go up in age. And if you don't have a strong army, then you end up being crushed essentially. So you can't loot resources, you stagnate, and you give up the game. By saying that you need a strong army, I don't just mean you upgrade your main troop combination, then you go up in age. No, you upgrade your main troop combination, and in the meantime, you focus on crafting a lot at the museum and find good counselors and create a good support towards your troop combination, okay, with the counselors and artifacts. So always focus on the offensive side of the game, focus on these benefits because they help you throughout the game. And then once you are ready or you feel ready, then you go to the next stage. Never rush for the ages, at least until you are space age, and then you can go above and say, okay, now I can focus on the world wars a lot more. Let me rush for the ages. I'm ready for it, okay? The next thing we're going to talk about, and that's my fifth point here, is learn how to attack. And let's talk about, for example, the multiplayer here, and then we're going to go into strikes and world war. Learn to attack, and what I mean by that is if you, for example, want to loot resources, you have two options in multiplayer: looting resources or attacking for medals, okay? Medals will essentially get you to a higher league. You can earn higher rewards, but you'll also encounter stronger players. If you want to drop medals, what you do is you place a troop, and then you come out the battle, and at the top here it shows you minus 18 medals. And this is what I recommend you guys to do if you are new to the game and if you're a beginner, because you will essentially allow you to encounter lower level players and less strong players. But going back to learn to attack, don't just deploy the troops whatever. You need to find the weak sides of the base, expose resources if you are focusing especially on looting, check for any gaps in the defense, like gaps in the walls, and easy access to town center so you get yourself a nice quick victory, okay? So for example, let's look at this one, and this is how you should approach the strikes in the world wars as well. So stay away, especially in the world wars, for example, stay away from the stronghold because some troops can come out of it. The town center, even in multiplayer and strikes, you have to be very careful because defensive troops can come out of it, defensive troops that get donated by the opponent's alliance. I'm going to make a video on how to attack and how to deal with the defenders that come out the town center, but in this case, let's analyze quickly the base, and this is what I recommend you guys to do: scout the base before you attack for any weak points. So in order to get a quick victory, if you're attacking for stars, you need to get a quick victory, so get the 5 stars victory and then get extra medals. There's a lot of buildings that you can take down here safely, pretty much. It's a very intense area. You can see the traps are activated here. Usually you don't see them, so be careful of the traps. If you have deployed here, you've been encountering a lot of traps, and obviously it's the closest way to get to the town center, but it's very dangerous. On this side, it looks a lot safer. There's a lot less stuff going on for you to take down when it comes to for a quick victory, let's say, but it's an easier route to the town center, which will provide you the quick victory as well if you take it down within the time. There is also showing you here on the left side of my screen. So it depends what you want to go for. If you want to go for resources, make sure that you check for the mills and these gold stacks and the farms and the oil tanks, and make sure that they're outside of the wall. And if they're outside of the wall, it's really good. And also, as you can see here on that chest, you click on it, it shows you the amount of resources you can loot. And this is how you approach the base, okay? You don't just deploy. You have to look through its defense, check for any gaps in the wall as well. This base does not have any gaps in the wall. Make sure you check where the safest spot is. So this is how you analyze. I'm gonna make more videos about this in the future because how to attack is very important. Another good thing to talk about here, guys, is to also how to protect your resources. So if you're a beginner and you just start the game, resources are obviously very important. Follow this strategy. Never leave resources when you get out of the game. So every time, loot resources, as many as you need, and upgrade everything, and basically spend all your resources resources before you get out of the game. And if you're left with some, then make sure that your resources are within the walls. Okay, so all the roads are within the walls, your farms, your mills, and your oil tanks are within the walls, well protected by the defense. This is for the beginners. Intermediate, they can stop doing that because they're very experienced, they can do resources very easily. They also have a better museum and a better collection rate, looting resources rate from those buildings that help them in the gameplay. So for beginners, make sure you protect your resources that way. And also remember, guys, I wanted to also mention to you, which I don't want to forget, the gold stacks are essentially on your road. So when you attack any opponents, if you notice, you loot the gold either from the market or from the gold stacks that are only stuck on the road. You're not gonna find any gold stacks in your opponent's base on the grass. It's always going to be on the road. So make sure you keep your roads within your walls. Now let's talk about the research. Research is very, very important. Obviously, we are talking about offensive researches, not defensive ones, especially in the beginning of the game. So there are three ways you can actually do research here. So number one is armory. And obviously we have different tabs here. And you can research better levels for your troops, essentially. And then you have access to the university at some point, and you can also research skills at your university, which will take citizens. So in order to actually end up researching these, you will need to have available citizens to allocate to those skills. They help with offense, defense, and economy. I would suggest you to only focus on the ones that have offensive benefits, like for example Hannibal. Also you have Amelia Earhart, is really good, and Sally Ride as well. So these are one of the best ones to actually upgrade. Then you also have your library, like we talked about earlier. Library is really important to research and research the red chapters, okay, the red books here. Red books are really important, they are offensive, and I would suggest you to first of all focus on the ones that you need for your own troop combination, and then go into extra troop combination researches. Now let's just quickly talk about the two types of players that you can be in the game. Once you, let's say, get to the intermediate level, it can be offensive and defensive. So the video until now has been about the offensive side, which you need to do if you're a beginner and you just started the game. Once you reach space age, you can decide to be either a striker or defender. So if you're a defender, you focus mostly on the defensive researches, working on your defensive buildings, only if you take part in the world wars. So the reason why I say that is because this doesn't really make sense to upgrade your defenses if you just do multiplayer and strikes. You don't need your defense to 5-star multiplayer base or 5-star strike base. You do need a good defense if you're a defensive player and you want to help your allies to win wars, because the opponents won't 5-star you. Let's talk about the best citizens villagers split, okay, for an offensive player, because we are beginners, let's say here, and we want to be we need to be offensive. And the best split is use about 60% of your citizens to upgrade the offensive buildings, and then use the rest to upgrade the offensive skills of the university. Like I mentioned earlier, the university skills require citizens in order to upgrade them. So you work in the same time. You don't just upgrade your offensive buildings and then you upgrade only your university. You do them in the same time. Obviously, before you have access to the university, allocate all your citizens to the offensive buildings. Make sure you also read the different troops. Click on the question mark and it will tell you what the favorite target is and the weaknesses and the strengths of the troops. And just keep grinding, guys. Keep going. Don't worry, you have setbacks in the game. I did. I had huge burnouts. I stopped playing the game pretty much almost a year when I stopped the game twice. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.